Hello everyone, we are group number 1. We are talking about our target company, Worldfield Service Corporation, leveraged by our investment proposal. Our team member has Barton, Raphael, Yu, and Young. It is the exclusive summary of the investment proposal. So we can see that the company has the 83 office in the world and 35 is in the North America, 27 is in the Europe. The company has more than 167,000 customers and 4,414 employees. The 2021 EBITDA is 217 and the total revenue is 31.3 billion. The company has 3 segments. The aviation has the higher revenue, which occupy 41%, and we can see from 2016 to 2021 the aviation also have the highest the sales growth rate, and based on the forecast of the revenue growth and the EBITDA and EBITDA margin, so we calculate the company's valuation by the APV comparable analyze and the precedent transaction analyze to get the lowest. The range of the company's value is 29.69 per share. Compared to today's stock price 24.22 per share, it means the company is undervalued. And we assume that exit multiple is 5. The equity proceed in 2026 is 2,885 million, so we get 21% IRR. The IRR is higher than the 20%, so it's a good deal. And we can also see from the industry that the company, the global oil and gas in 2020 has the 4,677 sales, and it's jumped to the 7,425 in 2025. The annual growth rate will be 6%. So the company and the industry have the potential the sales to increase in the future. And then move to the company overview. Now let's talk about the company. It was founded in 1984 and went public in 1986. The company distributes fuels and sales-related service to its customers. Until 2021, the company has 4,414 employees, 83 offices in the world, and served more than 200 customers. It has 5.9 billion assets and sells 16.4 billion gallons of the fuels. It's has 3 segments: aviation, land, and marine. In 2021, the company total gathered 31.3 billion revenue, which that's the aviation has the 41%. It's top one, and then the land is 33%, and the marine is 26%. The aviation segment gathered more than 15,000 customers and 3,400 airports. And the land segment served more than 150,000 customers and sells 50 more energy products. While the marine area is have more than 1,400 seaports and serve more than 2,000 customers. The company sells its service like the 24 hours and 7 days support, the technology support, the data management, the price risk management, and their aviation fuel and the other fuels, and the membership program, and the logistic, and the gas and electrics to its customers. Their customers has the US Navy, US Army, US Air Force, the airlines, and the other customers. Now let's look the management teams. The Michael is the chairman and the CEO. He joined the company in 1995. He's already worked in the company more than 27 years. And Air is the exclusive VP and CFO of the company. John is the exclusive VP of the all three segments. The Jeff is the exclusive VP and the Chief of Operation Officer, and Amy is the Senior VP and the Chief Marketing Officer. She already has more than 20 years working experience. And Wade is the COO, and the Fernando is the CHR officer, the chief HR officer. We can see the industry. Well, the global oil and gas market size in the 2019 is the 179.2 billion, and it will jump to the 238.5 billion in 2025. It's the sales growth price is 4.3 annually. So the company has the potential growth in the future. And the competitors, it has the four major competitors. The first one is the Phillips 66, and then is the PBF Energy and Global Partner LP, and the other one is a private company, is the Merve, is in the Switzerland company, but it's focused on the marine segment. The World Service Corporation has a strong advantage because it has served more than 200 countries and has more than 83 locations all over the world, and it has three segments. So it is a big advantage for the company.
Thank you, Yui, for that company overview. On this slide, we're going to be covering the investment merits, value creation potential, and risks for the target company. For investment merits, we see that World Fuel Services Corporation has a proven track record of consistent cash flow and EBITDA. They consistently have generated over $100 million of cash flow each year, and anywhere between $200 to $300 million in EBITDA each year. This gives us confidence that we'll be able to secure financing from lenders of up to $1.3 billion that we've estimated for this leverage buyout. Additionally, the company is diversified. They operate across three different revenue segments and have a geographical footprint across the world with over 80 offices worldwide. They also have an aging management team, so their oldest executive is 73 years old, and their CEO that has been with the company for approximately 27 years is 63 years old. We feel that given a healthy premium offer for their stock price, the management and shareholders will be incentivized to sell. Additionally, they're operating in an evolving industry with concerns of climate change and new environmental regulation. Their industry is changing and could be set for a new view and a private equity firm to come in and take a different look at how to approach the future. The company shows that they have long-term clients, and current world events are putting pressure on supply chains and increasing oil prices. For value creation, on the revenue side, we see the evolving industry with new regulations due to climate change as a potential to add new services, such as advisory on how to be sustainable and meet new regulations, and adding additional products such as biofuels made from corn or animal fat and waste to their portfolio. Additionally, we found that we can possibly create some additional value from cost reduction, specifically with cost of goods sold. Our research showed that similar comparable companies have a benchmark of 93% cost of goods sold as a percentage of sales, where World Fuel Services Corporation was operating at about 97% cost of goods sold as a percentage of total revenue. So our leverage buyout model has us improving costs with cost of goods sold to 96%. We realize that there's even additional more potential to improve cost of goods sold to as low as 93% of sales. But to be conservative, we made the improvements to be 96%. Additionally, our model with the revenue growth, we found that historically, um, World Fuel Services Corporation saw a year-over-year growth as high as 33%. Our highest revenue growth percentage is 18%. So we stayed well conservative on those estimates in our model as well. For risks and mitigators, as mentioned, the industry is evolving with the concern with climate change. We have the state of Washington making plans to ban most non-electric vehicles by 2030. General Motors has announced a goal to eliminate all gas and diesel vehicles by 2035, and the military is planning to shift tactical and non-tactical vehicles to either hybrid or electric in the future. So to address this risk, we look at their revenue segments. We couldn't find any articles talking about shifts for electric airplanes or electric tankers at sea, which make up approximately 70% of their total revenue. So between their aviation segment and marine segment, that's about 70% of their total revenue. As we can see here, their land segment makes up about 31% of their total revenue. So although a risk to their future business, it doesn't affect the majority of their business. And as mentioned, we see potential opportunities with those changes. On this slide, we'll cover the transaction overview, sources and uses, and actionability. The stock price as of Friday, April 29th was $24.22, and we are offering a premium of up to 47%, which equates to a stock price of $35.57 and an enterprise value of about $2 billion. We believe this is a sufficient premium to incentivize management and shareholders while still allowing room for future returns for us. We conducted two valuations, one based on comparable companies and the second based on the adjusted present value method. For the comparables valuation, we found that the World Fuel Services has a valuation of 1.8 billion to approximately 2.1 billion, which equates to a stock price range of $27 to $35 per share. For the APV valuation, we found a stock price range of between $47 to $74. The forecasts used for the APV valuation were used from the growth and cost assumptions that we made in our LBO model based off the base case, sponsor, and management cases. This validates that our offer price is reasonable and allows for future value for us. At the bottom of the slide, you can see that we are planning to fund the transaction with $1.3 billion in debt and that is made up of $300 million of revolving credit and $1 billion in term loan B debt. This will require approximately $1.1 billion in equity to fill the gap, and we believe that the deal is possible because World Fuel Services has consistent cash flow and will allow us to easily secure funding. And the significant premium that we're able to offer is likely to convince shareholders and the aging management team to sell.
The value creation comes from two sources: revenue growth and cost reduction. In terms of revenue growth, we use data from historical performance of World Fuel Service Corporation. First, we separate past performance of the company by segments, which are aviation, land, and marine. Then we created a weighted average of growth in each sector, with the weights being the corresponding revenue share. And we adopted this growth rate as the baseline of our growth assumption. For this baseline, we excluded the data from 2020 due to COVID impacts. Instead, we considered a similar extreme case like COVID in the downside projection. The result of this baseline is 22.5%. Our assumptions are relatively conservative, since our forecasted revenue never exceeded an annual growth rate of 22%, even though the company has seen an annual growth rate as high as 33% in 2017 for their largest segment, aviation. We are also confident in our projection because of the historical EBITDA increase. As seen in the historical financial, the EBITDA of World Fuel Service Corporation decreased from $389 million to $241 million in 2020 and continued to decrease to $217 in 2021, which is a 44% decrease in EBITDA over 2 years. It gives us further confidence that we can meet or exceed our revenue growth forecasts. In terms of cost reduction, we found that our target company's cost of goods sold was about 97% of sales on average. It is higher than the competitors, which are as low as 93%. It would be an area of improvement. We use this number as the benchmark in our analysis. To be conservative, our LBO model adopted an assumption of cost of goods sold being at least 96% of sales in some years, which is a 1% improvement from historical performance. With a conservative assumption at 96%, there is still room to lower cost of goods sold to competitor benchmark of 93%. It will be the direction that the company is heading to after the acquisition. The projected IRR further demonstrates our confidence in this transaction. As seen in the return analysis, we project an internal rate of return ranging from 18% to 34% in the base, management, and sponsor case. If the projected revenue growth falls to single digits, which is our downside case, as long as we manage the entry multiple carefully, we would still be able to protect our investment from losing money.
When conducting our due diligence of World Fuel Service Corporation, one of the most important factors is either keeping or replacing the management team. Michael J. Kaspar is the chairman, president, and has been the CEO since 2012. He has a proven track record that spans over 40 years. In addition, the CFO, COO, and several executive vice presidents have also worked for INT for many years. We believe the management team does not need to be replaced in the event of a leverage buyout due to their experience and familiarity with the company. Another aspect of due diligence involves figuring out who INT's customers are. INT is a global provider of energy products to both firms and national governments across the world. Finally, it is important to keep in mind that oil and gas companies' valuation is at the mercy of current oil prices. As of May 1st, 2022, a barrel of oil is selling for over $100, which is encouraging for a potential seller of an oil and gas business. However, oil prices are extremely volatile, and events such as the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russian-Ukraine conflict can immediately influence prices. Some due diligence questions that we still need answered is a clarification on INT's back and front office IT systems. The average SG&A as a percent of revenue for our competitors is approximately 5.1%, while INT's is just 2.1%. This could mean one of two things. Either INT's IT systems are antiquated and need to be invested in to potentially save man hours and increase efficiencies, or INT systems are far superior to our competitors. Another question that we need to answer is the current list of contracts that we have with our customers and suppliers. This can help us get a better idea of what engagements we're dealing with and improve our overall assumptions. Finally, we need to conduct interviews with employees across the company to understand the culture that is present in our workplace. When executing a leveraged buyout, there are three avenues you can take. You can either take the company public via IPO, sell to a strategic buyer, or conduct a secondary sale. We believe that INT could be an attractive acquisition company for a strategic buyer. INT products, services, and global networks could be invaluable to an oil and gas company large enough to purchase it. Our ideal buyer is a company like Valero Energy Company or Marathon Petroleum Corporation. Companies like this have enough cash on hand to meet our projected $1.7 billion valuation. Also, companies this large would not be opposed to paying a sizable purchase premium. A company that is very comparable to INT is QEP Resources. QEP struggled during the pandemic and in March of 2021 were acquired by Diamondback Energy based in Midland, Texas. Diamondback Energy saw an opportunity to expand their operation in the Permian Basin and execute a purchase for $2.2 billion. We are hopeful that oil prices remain high at the time of our exit to ensure the highest purchase price possible, just like QEP Resources.